Let's go catch some bees. Hey, what's up guys? I'm out here checking my bee swarm traps. One of the things you can do when you're starting beekeeping is put out traps to catch wild bees. It saves you a little money. Sometimes you don't catch the wild bees, so you may want to have a backup plan and buy a nuke or two just to be on the safe side. But I have kind of fallen in love with catching bees. I set out one trap the first year and I was lucky enough to catch a swarm, and I just kind of hooked on it after that. So I've kind of grown over the last couple of years in the number of bait hives I've put out. I caught 5 swarms last year with 6 of my bait hives. This year I put out 20 of my bait hives and I've caught 10 swarms so far. It's getting pretty late in the season here, but I'm hoping for another 1 or 2 late season swarms. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to just take you guys along to experience it, and let's go see if we caught any bees. Now, I've already caught 2 swarms at this location this year, which is double what I caught here last year. So it doesn't look like there's any activity on this bucket trap that I made. So I think I'm going to take it down for the season since it's getting so late. We'll go check the other traps. Alright guys, I'm at my second location where I have my swarm trap hung up. So just a little bit of a walk to get to it. Where should a person hang up swarm traps? There's no hard and fast rules, but you are going to have much better luck if you hang them up where there's old mature trees, because that's where bees live. So the more trees around, the better odds you're going to have. But generally you want to hang them along fence lines or power lines or creeks, rivers. A clearing is kind of the bees follow those paths, kind of just along those areas. So you can have them at any height. There's a lot of research that says you want to hang them up 10, 15 foot in the air. And you may catch more swarms if you do that, but I've had great luck just hanging them about 6 foot, so I'm not going to use ladders to catch them. I've even caught them on the ground, so you can catch them anywhere. Alright, up to a second trap, and it's not looking promising. There's 0 activity on that, so that's okay. Let's go check the next trap. Alright guys, I'm at my third trap. It's another little bit of a walk in there, but what if you don't have land to put swarm traps on? You don't own your own house maybe, or you can just ask friends or co-workers if they might have places that you could hang them up. I was renting an apartment and didn't have any places to hang them up, and I asked some co-workers and friends, and I ended up with like 8, 9 spots, and I put out 20 traps, and I'm very grateful for them allowing me to do that. I give them some honey for letting me put them up, and most people are pretty helpful to help a guy out catching bees. And I was also thinking that you don't have to hang up your traps in the country. You can hang them up in the city. In fact, I've had some of my best luck at a location right in the middle of a town, right next to a park, and I've caught 2 swarms there every year, just like clockwork. So you can catch bees about anywhere. Almost there. And it's been hot today. Alright, here it is. And it doesn't look like there's anything at this one either, so we'll move on to the next one. I forgot to mention at this next location I'm checking my trap, there's a person that lives nearby, so I won't have any audio with that one. I'm just going to video it, so just so you know. On to the fifth swarm trap, guys. This is a good lesson in what not to do. You want to have your traps right on the edge of the tree line, not in the tree line. I put this one back in the tree line because it was along a main road and I didn't want people to mess with the traps, so I put it in a little ways and I had just zero luck there. The only thing I've had is a squirrel chewing on the top of it, so try to keep your traps on the tree line. Alright, I'm almost up to my sixth trap. This is going to make for a boring video if I don't catch some bees, but it kind of shows the harsh reality of doing this. Sometimes when you go fishing you don't catch anything, and that may just be the case today. But that's okay, because I've said I've had some success this year, so I'm already happy. Anything that I catch now is just an extra bonus. Not look like there's anything at this one either. We'll move on to the next one. Out to my next trap. I forget which number this is, but we're almost there. Some of you may be wondering what goes into one of these swarm traps. I'll make a video on that maybe next spring before the season starts, rather than at the end of it like we're at now. But basically you have a wooden box and you put in 4 frames without foundation, and then one old brood comb that the queen is laid in previously. Preferably is the darker and older the better, so that's going to be a better lure. So the bees like to be where bees have been before, and that is one of the prime attractants, is that old brood frame. You also can add some lemongrass oil or one of the commercially prepared lures like Swarm Commander or Swarm Science. There's all kinds of plans on YouTube for making these traps, so I'm not gonna make a video on that. But if you have any woodworking skills at all, then you'll be able to build one. I don't have any woodworking skills, and I was able to cobble some together and catch bees with them, so you don't have to be a professional craftsman to do this. But there is a certain dimension of box that the bees prefer. Dr. Tom Seeley, I believe from Cornell University, has done a lot of research on swarms, and he determined that the best size for catching swarms was 45 liters. Alright, just a little further here. If I strike out and don't catch any swarms, I'm probably gonna add some video at the end of swarms I've caught previously, just so you don't think I'm making this up, that I'm able to catch bees. Before I started beekeeping, I would have never thought that you could catch wild bees, but you can. Alright, almost here. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hopefully we caught something. It looks like striking out yet again. Nothing here. Well, let's move on to my final trap in this area. I have about 3 more traps 25 miles north of here, but I'm not going to be able to check those today. Alright, I'm about to my final trap out at this location. Like I said, I'm going to add some footage at the end of this to show some of my previous swarm captures. This will probably be my last video like this for the year. I will definitely make some more like this next spring when the bees are swarming more frequently. Yeah. Nothing at this trap. Well, there's a bee in there. I don't know what he's doing. I think it's a bee. Well, I'll pop the lid off and see what's in there, but I don't think there's a swarm. I popped the lid off of this and there's just a handful of bees in there. I'm not sure what they're doing. I don't think they're scouting it out. They're just kind of loitering. But I'll leave the trap up for another couple weeks or so just in case there's a chance they're moving in, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like scouting activity to me. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and if you're enjoying my content, please like and subscribe, and I'll kick out some more videos like this next spring.